The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Game Podcast Network is brought to you by Arctic Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 deposit match for Simon Arctic Fantasy with the promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Game Podcast Network. It's currently Wednesday afternoon, July 2nd, around 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm Rose for the episode Reichel, once again joined by Dylan Rockford together and break down the games for the Thursday card. Dylan, how's it going with you? It's finally warm outside, but not too hot. It was like 90 degrees earlier in the week. How's it going?
It's good. I just got out of the car. It said 96, so it's still beaming where I am, but it's good. Good to be on with you. And had a question off the top for you. I guess your level of interest in reality TV.
I used to watch Jersey Shore with my mom.
Top 5 show of all time.
So it can't be 0.
Yeah.
Because I did used to watch a little bit of it, but that's the only show I really watched. So out of a scale from 1 to 10, I'll say 3.
Okay, because I'm at like a 3 or 4 as well.
Are you a Love Island guy? Is that why this came up?
What happened?
Are you a Love Island guy? Is this what
Absolutely not. My girlfriend has tried to get me to watch. I said, nope, you have your own time. You go and I refuse to watch it.
You should get into it now. You can avoid watching the Mets. What are they, 3 and 14 in the last 17?
Touche. No, she was actually watching The Housewives when I came downstairs.
Which one?
Miami.
Okay.
And I was like, and I saw the only person I knew was Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
My mom used to watch Miami, New Jersey, Orange County, and a little bit of New York. And it was never for me.
They're the worst people in the world.
There was a Real Housewives, though, of Atlanta. There was an Atlanta one, too, which I forgot about. See,
there's one in Colorado now, too. Like Aspen. I'm sitting there
I didn't even know they had that.
It's terrible. I looked on the show. She goes, you want to watch it with me? I said, no, I have a show to do. These people are awful. I can't believe you're just giving them your time. But yeah, right off the bat, I just wanted to see if you were. But I do love Survivor. When I was young, I was deep into Survivor.
So were you into Survivor and Amazing Race, or only Survivor?
Only Survivor. I didn't like Amazing Race.
I didn't like Amazing Race either, but I didn't really watch Survivor either, so I wasn't really into either one of those.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the Real Housewives shows, my mom used to watch that all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know how people enjoy it.
It's the worst.
It looks horrible. I don't know how people enjoy it.
They make so much money, though, Scott. You'd be surprised.
What the hell was the name? There was one of the I forgot who. I know Nene was one of the people in Atlanta. The
big girl.
Pumper something.
Oh, Vanderpump Rules.
Vanderpump. Thank you. Yes, that was one of the people on that too. Thank you. That's correct. I remember they had this dog, like a Pomeranian.
The little rat kind of dog. Yeah, they're the worst. Oh.
But anyway, I remember that. So thank you for helping me fill in the dots there on the Vanderpump Rules. That's right. They got a spinoff show I forgot about. But anyway, a point is time to get into the actual games for the Thursday card. Decent amount of baseball because you had a ton of doubleheaders because of what happened yesterday with the weather. For the games earlier, Red Sox won the suspended game from yesterday as they won 5-3. Tampa won again. What else is new? As they won 6-5. Pittsburgh won 5-0. Mitch Keller, back-to-back wins. Good for him. They've barely given him any run support all season. They swept the Cardinals over the last few days. Padres beat... Yeah, and the Mets too. But I was going to give you a pass on that one. But either way, the Padres beat the Phillies 6-4. Tigers jumped Gore, and they ended up winning 11-2. And the Mets lost 7-2. So there you go. Anyway, asking quickly, because we are going to talk about the Mets later. I'll save some discourse for later on in the show. Before we get into any of the actual games, though, for Thursday, reminder that you can find all of our picks and podcasts on the SGPN feed on either Spotify, Apple, or check out the actual app that we have. Free to download, and we have all the podcasts and picks there. Check out the SGPN app. Free to download, and also check out the feeds wherever you do get your podcast. Anyway, time to move on into the games for Thursday. Starting off with the Twins taking on the Marlins. Don't look now. The Marlins have been surging lately.
Yeah.
Hottest team in the league. They've won 8 in a row. So for the matchup here, you have Yuri Perez taking on Festa. For the money line here, you have the Marlins plus 105. You have the Twins at minus 125. The over-under is at 8.5. Now for this game, once again, you're looking at Festa, who's been pretty bad this season. Same with Perez. Both guys have ERAs over 5. Festa on the road, though, ERA of 6.92. He was good last start, though, 5 2/3, no runs against the Tigers, I mean. So maybe he might have found something there. Perez, though, came off of Tommy John this all of last year, and he has been quite underwhelming. He's allowed at least 3 earned runs in 3 of his 4 starts. So I'll ask you for this game. Miami's been surging, but you're looking at both pitchers not being too great recently. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, real quick, Joe makes a good point in the chat. Trevor Williams started the game for the Nationals.
Sorry, my bad.
No, just cleaning some things up. By the way, Dave Fiesta, he's from Verona, which is like 10 minutes away from where I am. So I try to root for him, but I can't. You got to take the Marlins here, in my opinion. My numbers only made the Twins a -105 favorite, and I was actually surprised they made them a favorite with how bad they are. And Fish, you mentioned it. They're the hottest team in the league right now, 9-1 in their last 10. I personally don't trust the Twins. They're on my do not bet list right now. They've been shut out in back-to-back games. To be honest, I think the Fish's bullpen is just as been better than Miami, and I think offensively they have better offense than the Twins right now. So you mentioned it, David Fiesta's he's been terrible on the road, 6.92 ERA. I got a +116. I know money has come in on Miami. I see +110s out there. As long as you could get any plus money at home, we got to take the dog here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to mention Minnesota is 18-28 on the road. They're a terrible baseball team, and I do think I don't need an excuse to fade Minnesota on the road, but I'll back the team on an 8-game winning streak at plus money. Yeah. I'll go with that approach for this one. Moving on to the next game, you have the Astros taking on the Rockies. For this game, you have Walter against Freeland. For the money line, Houston -180. Colorado is +150. For the over-under, I see 11 or 11.5. For the run line for Houston, I do see -1.5 and -122. Houston is a good team. Colorado is not. Houston, though, is one under 500 on the road. So they have been much better at home. Rockies, though, 8-33 at home. Freeland is 1-9 with a 5.56 ERA. It's Houston run line or pass. If it's bettable and it's not -150 in a given game, I'll just take the run line against the Rockies. I think Houston wins this game comfortably. Give me Houston.
Yeah, obviously Houston, big favorite here, to no surprise. I think I'm going to attack the Rockies offense and their team total under. I think this might be a good spot for Brandon Walter, who he's looked good in most of his starts for the Astros. Outside of that one bad start against the Angels, I think he's been solid. He had a nice bounce back start after that bad start against the Cubs, who are a much better team than the Rockies. And Rockies are poor against lefties as well. They're only averaging around 4 runs per game at home. And Walter's only allowed more than 2 runs one time this season, which was that poor game against the Angels. So Astros have a great bullpen as well. I think they could piggyback off of Walter as well. So don't want to attack his side. I do agree on the run line, but I think I'm going to go Rockies team total under here.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game, you have the Tigers taking on the Nationals. For this one, you have Enns against Irvin. For this one, I do see the money line for Detroit at around -155. Washington +130, +135, and the over-under is set at 9.5. Now, Enns was called up last minute to actually start a couple days ago, and he was great against the A's last week. Give him no runs in his outing. As for the Nationals, Irvin has been pretty up and down. The Angels destroyed him over the weekend as he gave up 9 runs in 4 1/3. But overall, he's been okay so far this season. Detroit, though, for the run line, if you want to go for it, you can find them at around +104 on the run line. Nationals are -125. I'll ask you what you like in this game because Irvin's been very up and down. Enns is an unknown, but he was good first outing. Maybe they can keep it rolling. But the Nationals are a fun team because they can't pitch, but the offense is kind of entertaining. But Detroit's just a good baseball team. I'll go with Detroit again, -1.5.
Yeah, this game was kind of interesting because I do think we'll see some runs here. I made my total 9.8. I was able to get a 9 earlier on at -122. I see 9.5s now at even money. Don't mind that. Jake Irving did not have a good month of June. Over a 7 ERA in the month of June. He gives up the long ball. Walks are an issue as well. So if you're looking for a home run prop, maybe it is this game. And 4 of his last 6 starts, the game ended in double digits. So I do think we could see another high-scoring game. Tigers are averaging well over 5 runs per game on the road. They just put up double digits again today. The over is 7-3 in their last 10. And I think the Nationals are good to score a few runs as well. They just put up 7 in their last game versus the Angels, 15 over the weekend. So I think they'll be able to put up some numbers. Nationals are last in the league in bullpen ERA as well. So I think the Tigers are going to have their way with them. I like them. I think they're the right side. They're a little chalky, though, if I'm being honest, on the road. But I like the over a little better.
I think it's understandable, though, when you factor in just the team difference in terms of quality. So I can get behind once again, plus money. Again, Detroit, who dominated today against Williams in the first game of the doubleheader. We'll see how they do against Gore in the second leg. But still, they're in good form. And the Nationals, are not very good. So I'll go with the Tigers at plus money on the -1.5. Moving on to the Yankees, who have not been good lately, but they take on Toronto. You're looking at Schmidt against Bassett. For the money line, you have the Yankees -125. You have the Blue Jays at plus 105. The over-under is set at about 8.5 or 9. First glance, 9 looks very high to me. Schmidt's been good. I know that he was not great against the A's in his last start. Didn't pitch horribly, but not great. 6 innings, 4 runs. But that was actually the first start he allowed a run in 4 starts. So he had 3 straight scoreless outings, then did not pitch well against the A's the last time out. Toronto, though, has been good. They were able to win the first 2 games of the series. Yankees, though, have not been great offensively recently. Bassett at home, 2.6 ERA. Not good last outing against Boston, but that was on the road. He got shelled in that game. Think he'll bounce back here. I think I'm on the Yankees, though, for a side. I think Schmidt has been better than Bassett over the last month or so. And I do think that this should be a competitive game either way. Give me Yankees 4-3.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same side, but I'm going to go first 5 under. Scott, I think your tweet said it the best the other day. The Yankees are just a mid-team right now. Yeah. There's just no way around it. Tough loss on Monday on Canada Day, and now they get Chris Bassett, who you guys want to back him at home and not on the road. He's 5-0, undefeated at home, 2.60 ERA. Maybe this could be a lower scoring game, especially early on, I think. I agree, 9 is a little high. I set my total at 8.4. Clark Schmidt, he had a really good month of June, especially on the road. And I think Bassett, he'll do a good job of limiting the batters maybe the first 2-3 times around the lineup. So 2 good lineups. I'm going to eliminate the bullpens because it could get scary sometimes. So I'm going to take the first 5 under.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. I just see a low-scoring game. It probably makes more sense to take that approach because the Yankees' bullpen has been really bad. I think the bullpen over the last 3 games is or 4 games is 10.13 for an ERA. Yankees' bullpen's been terrible, so if you want to avoid the bullpen, I can get behind that too. But I like the under in some capacity.
You know whose bullpen's really been good? I don't think anyone's really talking about Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yes. It got a little bit dicey there in the 9th inning today, but they were able to close it out. They swept in the series, so they've been good. I mean, the Mets did nothing the entire series, and then they shut down the Cardinals. So they've been in good form. Don't look now, but the Pirates and the Marlins, they're hanging in there. So yeah, there you go.
They said the Pirates have outscored their opponents 43-4 over the last 6 games. That's the most runs scored over a 6-game span while allowing fewer than 5 runs in MLB history. The previous most allowed for a few games was the Cincinnati Outlaw Reds in 1884.
I remember that during the World Series parade.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh. I remember that, but it's a hell of a run. They're going to tell their grandkids about this run. So am I. Them in Miami, they're not going to do anything in the grand scheme of things, but at least they've been entertaining to watch.
And maybe Paul Skeens will stay.
Yeah,
for their sake.
It comes down to ownership wanting to pay him.
Yeah,
so that's all I'm going to say. They have been a very cheap organization for a long time. Anyway, before I get into the next game on the actual card, a reminder that we're brought to you by our sponsor, which is Circa, because they're still hosting the Circa Millions and Circa Survivor contest. If you think you know ball, you can prove it. Enter the Circa football contest with $21 million of guaranteed prizes. No rake. If the entries go above the guarantee, all extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Millions, you pick 5 teams, ATS each week. Go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor, or enter the Circa Grandissimo, a 100K Survivor contest. Must register in person at Circa in Nevada. Great excuse to go. Sign up in Vegas, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use the code SGP to get a $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by MyBookie, because we're available in a ton of locations. Use them for betting on baseball, for WNBA, for golf, for tennis, etc., football futures. Also use crypto for deposits, fast payouts, and sign up though for an account. Use code SGPN to get a 100,000 match up to 1K. Terms and conditions apply. The G promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going with the first couple games on the card for Thursday. 10 to keep rolling with the next game. Brewers taking on your Mets. Do you want to talk about it, or should we skip it?
I mean, there's nothing to talk about. This team is tragic.
Can I interest you in a Jose Quintana revenge game? Because he's pitching for Milwaukee in this one. You have Quintana against Peterson. Mets are minus 160. Brewers are plus 135. For the over-under, I see 8 or 8.5. Quintana's been good this season, 6-2, 3.3 ERA. Same exact ERA with Peterson, but he has been quite bad lately. He has allowed 5 earned in back-to-back starts. The Mets, though, are an absolute free fall. They are 10 over 500 still, but I believe they've lost
14 of the last 17.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they lost again today. Holmes wasn't great. The bullpen wasn't good either. And Milwaukee eventually won in blowout fashion. What happened to your team? I'll start there before we get into the actual game breakdown. Your team used to be good. What happened?
I wish I could come here on the show and give you an answer, but I can't. I don't know what's happened to them. They can't hit. The pitching has been terrible. The bullpen, they also have no pride. They have no heart, it seems like, as well. And we're really missing Kodai Senga, Sean Manaea. And then we're like, oh, we're getting Frankie Montas back. He sucks. So everyone stinks.
As a Yankees fan, I knew that already.
Yeah, Paul Blackburn stinks. Clay Holmes stinks. Garrett, who had a terrible 6th inning today. And then you had media come out and criticize Carlos Mendoza, saying, oh, why'd you pull Clay Holmes out after 90 pitches? What do you want to do? Throw him 10 more pitches? He stinks too. It doesn't matter. The pitching stinks. The batting stinks. They have no heart. They had a players-only meeting for what? They got blown out the very next day.
That was so funny. They had a players-only meeting just for Montas to give up 5 runs in the first inning the day after. That's pretty funny. But
I'm all in for tanking, watching hopefully Pete Alonso win the home run derby. And I don't know if it ever comes on your For You page. Obviously, it comes on mine because I'm a Met fan. But Frank the Tank, he's crazy. The guy from Barstool.
The thing is, if I was a Mets fan, I'd probably lose my mind too. So I can't really be that mad at him. He's a Mets and a Dolphins fan, so he's just been miserable his entire life. Like, I don't know what else to add.
My thing is, as a Met fan, it's like Stephen A says, what could go wrong will go wrong. Just like, I'm used to it. My whole life being a Jet fan, a Met fan, a Knick fan. It's like I'm used to losing. So
you got a new coach. Does that count?
I wrote that down on the side of my notes. I was like, ask Scott about Mike Brown later at the end.
He's a 2-time coach of the year, which is code word for he's been fired twice, but he was good for a couple seasons. But
Boogie said he approves.
Wait, who? Boogie Cousins?
Legend.
Yeah, have you listened to half his opinions?
He's out of his mind.
Him and Gilbert Arenas. I don't give a damn what the hell they have to say about basketball. What the hell is that? No, I don't really care at all. Look, I think the New York sports landscape is in shambles besides the Liberty winning a title.
Yes.
It's been a mess for a long time. The Mets have problems. Do you think they scapegoat the manager? Does he make it to the end of the year?
Down this path? No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I don't think he does because I think Steve Cohen has a short fuse. He tweeted out yesterday, things will turn around. You got to make a move, buddy. The deadline is coming up. You have to make a move. If they don't make a move.
But I'm going to ask, though. You said everything stinks. So what move are you supposed to make? You're paying Soto $900 million.
I know.
What are you supposed to do?
I don't know. I don't have the answer, Scott.
That's what I'm saying. You got to make a move. It sounds like you want them to get rid of half the roster.
If you're Steve Cohen and you've watched the Mets a few times, what would you do?
You got to start Dickie Lovelady a bit more, right? But no, I don't know. I feel like the Mets are a team that I think you summed it up. There's really no type of mental toughness there. No. I think pride's an issue. And I think this team is soft. They made the NLCS last year. They ran into a buzzsaw in the Dodgers. We both did. It is what it is. It's fine. Yeah. But the Mets had themselves a sense of, I'd say, toughness, a sense of grit. The Lindor grand slam against Philly, they would come from behind in every game. Yeah. It feels like the heart's just not there. It feels like this team is kind of embracing disaster, which is not what you want to see from a team that had high expectations. So, yeah, I like the Brewers in this game.
Do you think they have enough talent to eventually turn it around, though, offensively?
I think you lack a ton of depth offensively.
I agree.
But when you're paying Soto that much money, I said 900. I know it's in the 700s, but it feels like $1 billion at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at Alonso, who's been very, very streaky this season. I think you'd agree that after bringing him back last minute in the offseason, he's been quite underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say that?
Yeah, that's fair.
He had a great start to the season, then fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
You're paying Marte, who I don't know if he's actually been good for a couple of years at this point. Your catching situation's a problem. I know Torrens is okay, but I mean, Alvarez is in the minors now.
3 straight games with home runs. He's heating up in Syracuse.
I know, but I'm saying, like, for the most part, he's had a pretty bad year.
100%.
Then you're throwing in the likes of Lindor. Whether he's injured or not, I've always been a lower on Lindor than most people. I recognize he's a great defensive player. I get that he has a couple of big moments, the home run against the Braves, the grand slam against the Phillies. I get it. Do you think he's a truly elite inner circle hitter? I don't, because he bats about 250. Like, I don't think that he's an elite hitter.
Hitter, no, but he has a Gold Glove, and I think
correct. I think he's a very good all-around shortstop, and there's some value to that. But he's viewed as being this elite contact hitter, and his average is never elite contact hitter worthy. No. Am I wrong about saying that?
No, I think that's totally spot on. And I remember him mightily struggling when he first got to the Mets, because I remember watching him in Cleveland. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was a power hitter. And when he came to the Mets, it was just like it just went
Lindor
down.
randomly had 3 straight seasons of 32+ home runs
in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, in Cleveland. Yeah. But you're looking at his batting average, and you're like, oh, Lindor, solid contact hitter. He's been with the Mets since 2021. He's only hit above 272 one time. He's not as good of a contact hitter as you think.
No,
that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So
and then he walks to the bench and smiles.
Yeah, and he gets injured here or there too. I mean, Beatty's been terrible, which is nothing new.
Jeff McFeeble.
I don't know what happened there. He won a batting title and forgot how to play baseball.
He's terrible.
Nimmo's had an up and down season. I'll put it that way. You could argue he's been quite bad. Yeah, a lot of guys have just not gone up to par. Vientos, people forgot about. That's how bad he's
terrible
been so far this season. So yeah, the Mets don't have much. To answer your question, do I think there's any moves to fix anything? No. I think they'll scapegoat the manager. 100%. I think he'll be fired to try to bring some life back into the team. But yeah, long story short, give Milwaukee plus money. I don't know how you're supposed to bet the Mets at this point. They're 3-14 in the last 17, and I can get the Brewers with right now the pitcher in better form in Quintana, who was also good in this building last year when he pitched for your team. And I can get the Brewers at about plus 135. What a bargain. Give me Milwaukee.
Yeah, I got him at plus 140. I'm on the Brewers. I don't care. This team stinks. I don't care how good their record at home is. And David Peterson is good.
It's all front-loaded anyway.
Yeah, 100%. And Dave Peterson's been good, but you mentioned in the beginning, back-to-back tough starts. He did not look good. But I don't like his recent form, and Brewers rake against left-handed pitchers, so this could be another bad spot. A little revenge spot here for Quintana as well, and he's been lights out on the road. He's only given up more than 1 run one time on the road, and they still won that game. So, yeah, Brewers, better team, better all-around, more talent, plus 140. Yeah, Brewers.
Yep. You could argue the wrong team might be favored in that game.
100%.
Moving on to the next game, Angels taking on the Braves. You have Soriano against Elder. Soriano's been decent this season, 3.9 on ERA. Elder's not good in general. He's never been good. A 5.82 ERA. Braves minus 150. Angels are plus 125. For the over-under, I see 9. Now, Elder's a guy who I really don't like. I think he's a bad pitcher. A 6.61 ERA at home. Last 3 starts, giving up a grand total of 19 runs. And Soriano pitches to contact, but the Braves offensively take a nap half the time. They DFA'd Verdugo. That's something, I guess. It means absolutely nothing. I feel bad for the Braves pitching staff. Both Sale and Schwellenbach died, so they're very shorthanded now on the pitching staff. Team's dead anyway. Give me the Angels plus money.
Joe, I was just reading the chat. Joe's funny. He said the only thing New York sports has the hot dog eating contest this weekend. And Joey Chestnut's
I
is back.
actually asked my roommate, because we actually are a couple of minutes away from it, if we should go to see Chestnut live.
Hell yeah.
I'm kind of in for it.
Yeah.
So
he might break the record again. Guys, he might be the greatest athlete of all time.
I think that if you want to go for the most, I don't know how to say this. I think he's the best. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. He's the most inspirational athlete of all time. That's how I'll say it. The guy just pounds down food. I'm honestly impressed.
Yeah, me too. I hope the weather's nice so it doesn't make the hot dogs cold. So I'm trying to witness greatness.
Yeah, they dip it in water. They dip it in water anyway. Who cares?
He's a maniac.
I'm with Joe, by the way. I actually like the under on hot dogs for
really? Under 71 and a half.
I saw 72 and I saw it 72, I think, on Underdog. He's been in the 60s the last couple of years. He's lost a step or two.
I just listened to an interview. He said it all depends on the weather. He was really breaking it down, and he was just like, yo, in practice, I get around 80 to 90. I'm like, this guy is out of his mind.
He's an absolute monster.
I think the most hot dogs I've ever eaten was like 4. And I was trying to push 5, and I was like, I can't.
It's because he didn't dip the buns.
Yeah, true.
That was the mistake that you made there.
Exactly.
But you're also adding condiments. But I think my favorite term, though, from the hot dog eating contest is reversal of fortune.
I never heard that. What does that mean?
It's when you puke.
Oh, nice.
If you have a reversal of fortune, you're automatically forfeited from the competition.
How long do you think you'd have to?
You automatically are forced to quit from the event.
How long do you think you'd have to train to compete in something like competitively like this?
How long do I have to train? 0 minutes. I'll finish in last place, but I'll show up for the contest.
Yeah.
But to actually be competitive, couple years.
Couple years, right?
You got to stretch out your stomach. You got to deal with the ulcers. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
back to the game. Bryce Elder stinks, but I do actually like the under 9.5. I immediately took the under. I see some 9s now. My total came out to 8.2. I think this total is actually really ridiculous for a Braves game, especially in Atlanta. The under's been extremely profitable in Atlanta, 25-13 towards the under at home this year, including going under this number in 4 of the last 5 games. And you mentioned it. He's been terrible, Bryce Elder, in the month of June, but Angels aren't the best hitting team either. They're only averaging 4.3 runs per game on the road, and I think this could be a nice bounce-back start for Elder. And on the other side, Jose Soriano, he's been really good on the road for the Angels, so I think he'll be able to keep the Braves in check, and hopefully, cross your fingers, I think Bryce Elder could do fine. So I'm going to do under 9.5 here.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game, go to the Guardians taking on the Cubs. For this one, you have a pitching matchup between Ortiz and Horton. For this one, you have the Cubs -160, the Guardians at +135. The over-under is set at about 8.5. Ortiz has had a pretty weird season, 4.9, 4.36 ERA. Bad on the road, though, 5.18 ERA. Been very up and down lately, but over the last 4 starts, he has allowed 14 runs, so not exactly pitching that well. For Horton, though, he has been underwhelming, 3-2, 4.8 ERA. To be fair, one outing was against the Mariners in that crazy win game in Wrigley. 6 runs, 3 earned there. Shelled against Houston last start, though, 7 runs in 4 innings, so both pitchers not pitching too well. The issue is the Guardians can't hit, but I want to take the over. So I'm kind of just stuck in this actual game. I guess I'm on the over, but I don't feel good about it at all.
Yeah, I don't mind the Cubs here, -142. My number's made up a -155 favorite. Guardians, they're another team that stinks right now. They've lost 5 in a row. They're 3-7 their last 10, and now they're trotting out Luis Ortiz. He's not good, especially on the road. Over a 5 ERA. He's another guy that's kind of been up and down, and for me to back him, he needs to be more consistent. So Cubs, they're great against right-handed pitching. They're averaging around 5.18 runs per game at home this season. So I do like the over for me, but the Cubs have the better starter, the bullpen. I think this is a no-brainer here. I can't imagine the Guardians keeping up offensively with the Cubs. So, yeah, -142. It's a little pricey, but I do like the Cubs here.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game. We're going to look at the matchup between the Giants and the Diamondbacks. For this one, matchup is going to be an interesting one because the pitching matchup has Ray against Fod. For the actual lines here, I see the Giants being favored in this game. I'm just trying to find the exact price here. Giants are at -116. I see a -110, though. So you can find a pick 'em basically. So -110 on both sides, and the over-under is set at about 8.5. Fod has been quite underwhelming lately. He got shelled early in that last start against Miami, then kind of settled in. 5 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned, but he definitely struggled over the course of the outing. For Ray, though, he's had himself a very solid season. And for the Giants in general, they are 4 games over. They're not great. Both teams are kind of in the same ballpark. But you're looking at Ray, who has allowed less than 4 earned runs in basically 2.5 months at this point. He has not been as good this month as he was in June, but he's still been fine so far. In May. He had a 1.38 ERA in May, a 3.54 ERA in June. Still the better pitcher based on current form. Give me the Giants in this game.
We have breaking news. DeAndre Ayton has signed with the Lakers.
Congratulations, Thunder in 6.
We knew that was going to happen.
I don't think anyone really cares that much, to be honest.
Give me the Giants first 5 money line. I know the Giants, they're hurting right now. They're struggling to win some games, but I do think Robbie Ray is the better pitcher here. Want to kind of eliminate the bullpens, just take him in the first 5. I think that's a good angle. He's been great all year, home and on the road. Diamondbacks aren't the best against left-handed pitchers either, so I do think the Giants should be in this game early on. And Brandon Pfaadt on the mound, 2+ runs given up in 9 straight games. He got roughed up bad against the Giants in his last time he versed them as well. So, this might be an opportunity where the Giants get a win and kind of turn things around on the road. So I do like them. I'll take them in the first 5.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game, going to look at the matchup between the White Sox and the Dodgers. For this game, Dodgers, of course, are massive favorites. What else is new? You have May against Savale. Dodgers minus 300 for the White Sox plus 240. For the over-under, I see 9 or 9.5. And for the run line for the Dodgers, it's going to be laying some money, but it's minus 135. So May this season has been fine, not great. 4-5 with a 4.68 ERA. So all of those jump teams, ERA is slightly worse, basically the same. I'll ask you, want to make any case for the White Sox or no?
Absolutely not. You?
No, not really.
Yeah, so I kind of like the under here, minus 115, under 9.5. Seems a little high for me.
Yeah.
My total came out to 8.4. I know taking an under in LA is not the logical thing to do sometimes, but just look at their recent games. They've gone under this total in 4 of the last 5. The under is 8-2 for the White Sox last 10, including 4 of their last 5 as well. Chicago can't score on the road. And even though Aaron Savale, he's not the best pitcher, his last 6 games that he started have all finished under this total. I think the number is just a little too high for me, so I'm going to take the under here.
Yeah. Moving on to the last game on the card, you have the Royals taking on the Mariners. We did not save the best for last. You have Wu taking on Lugo for this one. Good pitching matchup. Mariners minus 160. Royals are plus 135. For the over-under, I see 7. I think 7 sounds right, to be honest. I don't see many runs in this game. I think Wu's a solid pitcher in general. 7-4, 2.93 ERA. He has been great lately. He's allowed only 2 earned in his last 3 starts combined. For Lugo, he's been good too lately. Lugo shut down the Dodgers, gave up no runs in his last start. He's given up a total of 2 earned in his last 4 starts combined. I actually like the under in this game. I see a low-scoring game. Give me a 3-2 type game. Give me the no home run in this game. I see a rock fight.
Yeah, just based on value, the Mariners run line seems enticing at plus 140. Total seems spot on at 7. I made my total 6.9, so I'm just going to stay away from that. Both pitchers have been dealing, though. Like you said, this should be a good matchup. Brian Wu at home, he's been great. 2.08 ERA. Batter's only hitting a $174 off of him. And Royals aren't a good hitting team, to say it nicely. They're only averaging 3.3 runs per game, which worst in the league. I just don't think they'll be able to get to Wu. And offensively for the Mariners, they've really picked it up. They're borderline a top 10 offense lately. And as good as Seth Lugo has been, look at his numbers in June. He's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Royals, they're just 2-4 straight up when he starts on the road. So
they can't hit.
Yeah, they can hit. I don't trust them. As good as Seth Lugo will go, I don't think they'll have enough run support here. So 4-1. 5-2 type of game. Oh, no, 4-1, so you get your under. But yeah, I'm going to take the Mariners here, minus 1.5 at plus 140. I think that's extremely good value.
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up, though, for the actual card. Time to move on into the actual lock and dog picks. For that, the reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor in Fantasy, because they're doing Best Ball Mania, happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments. Trades, Best Ball's the best way to play fantasy football. Also use Underdog for Pick'em. Enter the site with the promo code for your new account, MLB SGPN, to get a special pick and different times that offer up to $1K in bonus cash on fantasy promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, because you've heard about Rhythm before. They just dropped the interesting feature called Power Trends. They also just added Power Trends for WNBA. So if you want some extra props, check that out as well. Add the patterns. Rhythm's models have consistently won, have a high ROI. They're also updated every day. Exclusive to Rhythm, just great overall picks. Download the app, check out Power Trends, start betting smarter. Also try it out for a week for free by using the 7-day free trial. Go to sportsgambling.com/rhythm to get your 7-day free trial. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through all the games for Thursday. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Dylan, I'll let you go first. What's going to be your lock and dog for the show?
Yeah, so for my lock, I'm going to give you a plus 140 play. It's the Brewers. I mean, at this point, you just can't back the Mets. They're terrible. We went on a rant. Mets stink. You should not be backing them with your hard-earned money. So I'm going to take the Brewers as my lock. As my dog, I was going to go with the Mariners at plus 140, but I'll take another plus money price. Give me the Fish, one of the hottest teams in the league, at home against a guy in David Fiesta who has an over a 6 ERA. On the road, they are not a good baseball team at all. On the road, they're terrible. He's not a good pitcher. And offensively, I think the Marlins could score some runs here. So at home, give me the home dog at plus 116.
All right, so for my lock on the show, quickly just checking the weather to see if I have to be concerned. Because I want to go for a total, but I want to see if the weather is going to cause me to change my stance on any of these plays. The weather, damn, that Mariners game is going to be an absolute rock fight. Wind blowing in at 8 miles per hour. That might be first to 2 wins of that game. Do I want the under? Or I want to go with the Yankees game under.
Yankees.
I think I am going to go Yankees under. I see 9. It feels too high to me at minus 122. Schmidt's been good. Bassett's been great at home. The Yankees offense has been quite underwhelming as well. Give me the under, a 9 in that game. Think it'll be a low-scoring game. Think that this is going to be close. Hopefully we get no extra innings, which can kill this. But I do see a 4-3 type game. I think both pitchers go pretty well, and I think you'll end up seeing, once again, a pretty close game throughout that finishes under this total. So I am going to go with the under in the Yankees game as my lock, minus 122 on the under 9. For the dog, I might get cute with this, but I am interested because I just mentioned the actual weather in Seattle for the game tomorrow. Give me the dangerous all to under. Give me the all to under 6.5 at plus 115 in the Royals and Mariners game. I see an absolute rock fight. Give me a 2-1 type game. No home run could be an option. Give me the under 6.5 at plus 115 as my dog.
Can we get a 3-1 so I get my run line and you still get your under?
Sure, that's fine. Yeah. It's all good. I can give you 5 runs if you want it. 5-1. I'm fine with that too. So there you go. A point is, though, it's going to wrap it up for the show. Dylan, anything else you want to add?
Well, we talked about Mike Brown. The last thing I had written down, I didn't
answer your question, by the way, about Mike Brown. I'm fine with it. I'm kind of indifferent to it.
Yeah, I'm indifferent. I didn't know how to feel.
The issue is the contracts on your roster, not the actual coach, but that's a separate story.
I think we're going to get rid of Malik Bridges.
You have Miles Bridges. Well, Miles Bridges is the guy on the Hornets. You have Mikal Bridges, who's the former Nets guy. I don't know who the guy you said is. That's a made-up player. I don't know who
What
that
did I
is.
say? Mikal Bridges.
You did not say Mikal Bridges.
What did I say?
I have no idea.
Oh, we got to run this back.
You threw me for a loop on that one. You did not say Mikal Bridges.
Chat, back me up. I thought I said
you did not say Mikal Bridges. You said a guy who doesn't exist. I don't even know who the hell you said.
I meant to say Mikal Bridges. Maybe
that's
I said
why I said Miles,
because
you threw me for a loop there. But no, Mikal has a decent contract. I don't think he's an amazing player, but he's fine. OG's drastically overpaid. Cat's making way too much money. So you have bigger issues on your actual roster, but I don't think Thibodeau is a title-winning coach. So we'll see what happens, but the Eastern Conference is open. Will I pick you to win the Eastern Conference? No. But you might be entertaining. That counts for something.
Yeah, I 2 winners I have so far in June. I thought the Nuggets, they got some depth. They got Bruce Brown back, and they're going to go after Damian Lillard, they said. And I also think the Hawks got pretty good, too. Especially they fleeced the Pelicans with that trade out draft.
That was a joke. That was an absolute joke.
That's a fireball offense.
They just hired the GM. They hired Joe Dumars like a month ago.
He has to go. And then they get a below-average Derek Queen.
Yeah, I did a draft reaction episode with Lonte, and I had the Pelicans as my biggest loser for the draft. So,
and then Derek Queen is not that good. No disrespect to Derek Queen, but he is not that good.
I'm not a Queen guy either. I think he's going to get torched defensively in the NBA. So I'm not fully invested in Queen. I thought that the Hawks did a great job.
Yeah.
I thought the Rockets did a very good job as well.
Yeah.
I don't believe Durant's going to move the needle as much as people think, but I do love their overall offseason. Mm-hmm. They paid a lot of money for Finney Smith, though. I would not have paid that much money for that guy, but they got Capella. They have, 57 feet tall people, so it's going to be interesting watching them play. I thought Orlando had a good offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I like what they did. They got Tyus Jones, a backup point guard, to go with Bane as well. So a couple of teams made some moves. Denver won the offseason. I mean, Denver did a phenomenal job with the team. Yeah, I got nothing else to really add there.
And what's with the Bucks? Why did they? I understand letting go Dame, even though he's going to get paid all that money for not playing. But is maybe I'm watching a different game, but is Miles Turner really that good?
I can't stand Miles Turner. I've been roasting Miles Turner on the podcast for like 3 years. I can't stand Miles Turner.
Would you pay him that much?
Absolutely not.
He's terrible.
I would ask him to pay me that much to put him on my team. No, I can't stand Miles Turner. Look, I'm automatically going to be biased. I'm very anti-center that refuses to rebound, and Turner just doesn't rebound the ball. I've compared him to Brook Lopez, which is ironic because he replaced Brook Lopez on Milwaukee, so it worked out pretty well for my comparisons. Mm-hmm. But look, the thing about Milwaukee is I thought the whole Giannis reaction was hilarious.
Yeah, I did too.
Because Giannis reacted like he was shocked and offended that they waived Damian Lillard. But allegedly, he told the Bucks to get Miles Turner. Where did you think the money was going to come from?
Yeah.
You couldn't afford Miles Turner. And you had to get rid of Dame.
And it was also weird because aren't Milwaukee and Indiana rivals?
Well, yeah, but it's free agency. I don't know if that actually
I know, but why?
Indiana's without Halliburton. They said, you know what, screw it. We're not going to get into the luxury tax. So they avoided paying Turner to save tax money.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I understand.
I get it. It's just...
I don't like Miles Turner anyway, so I wouldn't have paid him that much money.
I honestly think Brook Lopez is better than him.
I think Brook Lopez is washed. I think Brook Lopez was better than Miles Turner. Yeah. But watching him in that series against Indiana in the first round, I think he's washed. I think Lopez is a standard backup center who's going to play maybe 15 minutes a game. He can't move. So I think Lopez used to be a better player. But right now in 2025, I think he's done.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's your NBA free agent frenzy real quick to end the show.
I'll be doing a free agency episode probably with Lonte or Terrell within the next week or so. Nice. We're just waiting for a couple other moves to be made. But Milwaukee's moves were very weird. They want to keep Giannis as much as possible, so they're trying to do whatever they can to sabotage the future, to keep the present alive. They're screwed anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
And I'm gonna spin this to a positive to the W because I know you're on the show with Terrell.
Fever, we gave him out to win the Commissioner's Cup, plus 320.
At a boy. Sophie was twerking.
Yes, it was a very weak. It was a white girl twerking attempt. Yes. It was not good.
Fade him the next game. And also her being, I think they're blowing it out of proportion a little bit. You're obviously entrenched in more of the WNBA talk, but I get it. She's the captain of the All-Star team, but her being ranked the 9th best. People hate Caitlin Clark. Obviously, it doesn't surprise me that
it's not people. It's really the players.
No, I get it. I just think like people are like blown away. Like it doesn't blow me away because they genuinely hate her. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark's going to have a better career than 99.99% of all these women. So she's going to get the last laugh.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really care.
No, I didn't either.
It's the opposite of the LaMelo Ball All-Star Game voting, where LaMelo was in the top 3 in voting, and they threw him out because he didn't deserve to be an All-Star.
No.
Thank God they didn't put him as an All-Star, because I can't stand LaMelo Ball either. But the point is, Caitlin Clark, she was going to be an All-Star no matter what. She was number 1 all-time in fan voting. Most votes ever.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter, as far as I'm concerned. So they can hate her all they want. If she wins a title or a couple in her career, a couple MVPs, it's fine. Nobody cares. So
I agree.
They keep expanding. There's more teams. Mainly,
when they announced them expanding, I immediately thought of you, Scott. I said, "Yo, this kid Scott told me these people owe money. How are they going to all these different? How are they expanding if they owe money every year?"
Well, we'll see how they do this upcoming season, but I did hear through Terrell, who's pretty connected, about these rumors and this announcement about a week ago. Yeah. So I actually knew this was going to happen. It reminds me of the MLS. I don't know if you follow the MLS at all.
No, I don't.
So American Soccer League, they used to have in the teens in terms of the amount of teams. Mm-hmm. Not a big league. And then they randomly have 30 teams. They just kept expanding. They kept adding teams every year until eventually you had a full 30-team league. I see that happening here. The W, look, whether or not it's because of the potential growth of women's sports or because of the fact that sports teams tend to generally make money in terms of buying and selling for valuations. Mm-hmm. They always go up, sports teams' valuations. The Lakers are allegedly worth $10 billion. Sure, whatever. Point is, I can definitely see why people keep trying to get into sports because compared to other leagues, WNBA is probably cheaper to own a team than all the other major sports.
I get that.
And if you flip it 5 years down the road, you're probably making money. So
is it good for the league though?
Yeah, why not? You get more games. It's good for us. I don't care. You get more games to bet on.
Yeah,
fine.
Exactly.
I mean, assuming the House bill doesn't pass, which is a separate problem. But if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, vaguely, but.
Yeah, they might want to consider not allowing you to offset your losses entirely from your winnings for tax deduction purposes.
Like us or the players?
Everybody. So it's not good. It's not good.
Can you give me an example? Like, break it down to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
If you end up making $100K from winnings in betting, but you also lose $100K for losses in betting, you break even, you don't pay taxes, correct?
Correct.
According to the new alleged plan, you would only be able to offset $90K out of the $100K. So you would still owe taxes despite losing $10,000.
Why are they trying to pass something like that?
Because they're very, very greedy and they want money. So it has not been passed yet. It was added as basically an amendment to the big, beautiful bill, whatever the hell it's called they're trying to pass. Anyway, it was added as like a separate amendment to the bill. They're going to vote on it, but if it passes, you got a pretty big moment in a negative way towards the sports betting community. So that is the main code red moment in the sports betting community right now.
Is it the far right or left?
Truth is, I really don't know. Because when you're attaching a bunch of amendments to bills, you have a ton of ulterior motives into it. So I don't really know the answer to that. The bill initially was Republican. I don't know how the amendment played into it, but it's not good. I'll tell you that much.
I'll tell you this. The last 10, 15 minutes of us not talking baseball, our viewers went up. And I'm happy you're here for it.
I mean, that's the main talking point, though, that's going on right now is the potential bill that could sabotage the fabric of current sports betting in America. I expect it to be fixed. Conceptually, it makes no sense. So I'm assuming it'll be corrected. But I don't actually know who initially pitched it and what the logic was behind it. I'm assuming either somebody very anti-betting or somebody with a stake interest in another type of betting like a Kalshi or something that's not officially sports betting, but it would drive traffic to one of those platforms. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, well, keep me in the loop. I'm trying to see what's up with it.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, till next time, you can find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter at Rock with 2Ks24. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye.